Oh man, is it storming outside? What's happening? I totally ran into this. I'm sorry. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you are having a lovely day, a lovely Thursday, assuming that I get this video out at the right time. Because as of right now, Tropical Storm slash Hurricane Nicole is just slamming, womping us right now. And what am I going to do? Well, I've already made my hurricane preparations. There's only so much I can do. So in the meantime, let's listen to some music, you know? And it's really actually stormy outside. I'm going to make a little edit and I'll show you like how it is outside. I'll do that. Let me actually leave the room. Hold on. I'm going to show you that there's actually a storm going on. Right, honey?
Yep.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. I got to move some things here so I can actually go outside. Got to turn on some lights for you. I want you to see that tropical storm slash Hurricane Nicole is so loud. I guess you can't really see the rain, but it's loud out here. Oh, it's already starting to flood. See, look at that. Look at that. It's already starting. I see the water dripping because the gutter, it floods right there because we have a bunch of trees out there. Oh my God. But anyways, getting back to the video, today we are going to listen to something I would assume is appropriate. We're going to listen to the track Storm by Godspeed You, Black Emperor, off of their album Lift Your Skinny Fist Like Antennas to Heaven, released in the year 2000. Now, I've always heard of this band. I've always seen this album cover. I can tell you a long, long time ago, and I'm talking at least 15 years ago or so, I had gotten this album and tried to listen to it, and I did not get like 2 minutes in. My mind was not ready to explore into whatever this is going to be. I'm going to find that out right now. but so like just being upfront and honest, I got this album, but I didn't like get into it at all. Like at all. I don't remember a thing about it. So this will still be, in my opinion, a first listen, although you could argue that it's not a first listen. But this specific track and the band had been highly recommended to me, specifically from Lucas Hislop, who had said, like, this track, this band, just listen to them, give them a shot. And some others have mentioned them as well. Not a ton of recommendations for them, but a bit of them. A bit of people have recommended them. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and listen to this. Simon A.L.A. also recommended the band. And I think there's a few others. It's just, they're kind of scattered. It hasn't been like a consistent recommendation. They've been kind of scattered here and there. I see Brother Martin Dolly, OSB, who recommended it. Ashton B. Dracus, I believe you mentioned it as well. So there's a lot of you. ML, PR8. So without further ado, while I am literally in the midst of this storm, and by the midst, right now, it's 7:52 p.m. It's supposed to really start getting a little crazier in about 5 hours or so. Somewhere around that, in the middle of the night. But before the storm actually hits and approaches, let us approach this specific storm. That's a long intro. Let's go. like how it's just like fragments of that explosion from before, kind of just left wandering into space. Like the violin here sounds like broken, just left over. Now recreation. No brakes, just letting the force carry it. Right to silence.
Queremos aconsejarles a los clientes que cualquier persona que se ofrezca a ponerle gasolina a su automóvil, lavarle la ventana o solicitar productos no esenciados que está asociado con nuestra empresa. Les pedimos que no tengan contacto con estas personas y favor de reportar cualquier problema al personal informado dentro de la empresa. Gracias por comprar en AMPM Mini Market y tenga un buen día. Welcome to Arco AMPM Mini Market. We would like to advise our customers that any individual who offers to pump gas, wash windows, or solicit products is not employed by or associated with this facility. We discourage any contact with these individuals and ask that you report any problems to uniformed personnel inside. Thank you for shopping at Arco AMPM and have a pleasant day. Welcome to Arco AMPM Mini Market. We would like to advise our customers that any individual who offers to pump gas, wash windows, or solicit products is not employed by or associated with this facility. We discourage any contact with these individuals and ask that you report any problems to uniformed personnel inside. Thank you for shopping.
That was like a Gasper No film put to music. That was an experience. This type of music, first of all, you cannot come into this without any sort of patience. You have to have patience. You have to have time. Allow yourself the time, the rest, the space to listen to something like this. Because to me, listening to that was more of an experience rather than, well, I don't want to say rather than music, but perhaps more of an experience and less music in a sense. There is a lot that I felt listening to that. And I'm not going to be able to find the words in completion to explain how I felt listening to this. But one thing I really, really appreciate about the track is it's 22 minutes. As an experience, it feels very satisfactory to me. It tells a story of some sort, whatever story that may be, whatever the band's intentions may be. Perhaps the title Storm has nothing to do with the sound bites that we have from an airport, and then I don't know what from after that. Just some sort of very distorted radio speaker or so. Or perhaps it's just the feeling. Perhaps it's the way the music cascades back and forth. I don't know. However, maybe just because there is an actual storm happening outside this window, I couldn't help but think of a storm. And if I can bring you back really, really quick, this was a really interesting track. Really interesting. I can't get the word experience out of my mind. From the beginning, it starts pretty quaint. It has a lot of ups and downs. And I don't mean like quality-wise. I mean like it gets thrashingly climactic, absolutely distorted and euphoric. There's so many different sounds going on. And what I appreciate is within, for example, the first big climactic moment, it repeats those melodic hooks. It repeats over and over again. But as it repeats, as the music elevates and eventually culminates in that last climax before returning to silence, there's a new element either added or played slightly differently every time we return. So, of course, near the ending of that, the drums become just a little bit more hectic. At one point before that, the guitar would peak around a little bit melodically in between the distorted crashes of the music. It was just a really interesting way that was played. Let me kind of lower the volume and we can go back to that. Of course, the intro, very serene, quiet, relaxing, beautiful, and it's peaceful, right? Especially with the addition of the strings. I like that. I wasn't expecting that, but once you get into this, it's exciting, it's kind of frolicking through the fields, it's adventurous, and further, just a little bit, right about here, it begins to change and churn and become something different. And right there, we have our first transition out of the climax. And what I thought was interesting, I think it's guitar that comes up right here. There you go. Can I tell you a few things? I could be completely left field. It's just what I'm kind of hearing, what I'm kind of experiencing here in the moment. But when it got to that part, the guitar and the violin, there was a little bit of a folk element to it. I believe that I captured that, and I felt that way because of the notes that were being played and the way that they were being played. Very relaxed, very rural to me. I could see this part taking place on the countryside in some Midwest town at some home where it's just fields of wheat, corn, whatever to look at, and there's someone sitting on the porch of this home and just looking out. Now, in this moment, they're just looking out under tender and clear skies. Very serene. It's a different kind of pastoral. What I was thinking about this is, unlike, for example, Anthony Phillips and that brand of pastoral music, this has a different kind of taste to it. And not even just the soft part, but even the more distorted and electrified moments in here. In that it feels like static on your skin that makes your hair stands up. It's kind of like that same experience. And it's pastoral in that way, except instead of building, I don't know, these kind of feels of sound, it's a sonic display that's kind of different. And I don't know why, I'm just getting these different feelings listening to this. But back to this part. Sitting on the porch, looking out over everything, right? However, in the far, far, far distance, there's a dark cloud just looming. And ever so slightly, and ever so slowly, and ever so cautiously, it begins to grow. It begins to come closer towards this house, towards the farmer. darkening the skies as it comes. And so these beautiful moments, we turn down, eventually they become something a little more mysterious underneath the music. Like right in here. You can feel like that strength coming, right? And they have a great job of carrying their more bombast moments, whether it's the rumbling of the bass. I see here on the personnel list that they have 2 drummers in the band, Bruce Caldron and Aidan Gert. So especially in the next heavier part that becomes actually pretty dark and heavy, I would imagine you can hear like those 2 drummers just kind of going at it, especially on the toms. You hear them just ba-da-da, ba-da-da, just like going for it. And then I love that moment when that drops. Hold on, we'll talk about that later. But getting back to the Dark Cloud. Here, it approaches, it arrives, and once again we get into this big climactic moment. And they just have a way of transitioning between all these sections that feel like movements in an orchestra. They have a symphonic nature to it that I really appreciate, and I love the way that they maneuver back and forth. Let me skip ahead a bit. Oh, I love that dramatic wah, 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 like that. That's good. Skip ahead. Here we go. So in my mind, the storm at first was a thing of beauty, but now it becomes a thing of fear. This sounds like turmoil. This sounds like inner distress. This is that 2 drummer moment that I was talking about. Solid marching beat, just heavy and dark. And then I'm trying to find the moment. Where was it? I can't remember where exactly the moment was because I wasn't paying attention at the time. But the moment when the music builds, the drums especially, and then the music drops off and it's just the drums kind of. And it reminded me a lot of what Mike Oldfield did in Omadon. He did the same thing, and I love that moment. It is like you can feel your heartbeat in your chest kind of moment. And they did a similar thing here. So of course, it's not like the most unique thing, but I wonder, it makes me think like, hey, did they by chance hear that in Omadon or something? But even going further past that, we arrive at this airport, I would imagine. Now the lines there are, welcome to Arco AM/PM Mini Market. We would like to advise our customers that any individual who offers to pump gas, wash windows, or solicit products is not employed or associated with this facility. We discourage any contact with these individuals and ask that you report any problems to uniformed personnel inside. Thank you for shopping at Arco AM/PM and have a pleasant day, which is repeated. The question is, why is that included? I can't answer that. I have no idea. But it does kind of add a really interesting touch into the music where, of course, before it was wordless, and now there are words involved. And these are the words chosen. So the question, as I mentioned, becomes, why are they chosen? I don't know. There's something very mundane, of course, about the announcement, but perhaps there could be something deeper. The band had to choose it for a reason. And I really do like how, as we move forward, here, the piano comes in this last section, which the piano, in a way, is a simple instrument. In a track like this, the stark, cold chords that come in from the piano don't sound so simple. They sound profound. Because of everything that we heard before, it makes such a big statement and a bold statement when those piano chords enter in. And then behind that, you have some distorted speaking, a speech happening, that even when I'm looking at the lyrics here on Genius, it just says indistinguishable talking, and I don't know what's being said there. But I can't deny the effect of the piano with that staticky, grainy talk in the back. It kind of sounds really, really cool. There's something of loss being demonstrated here in the music. At least that's what I feel like. It feels like something, like we lost something. And I'm not even sure what it is because I don't know what is going on. But that's just the feeling. And that kind of goes back to what I said in the beginning, that this feels like an experience. Can I tell you exactly what I experienced? Nah. What I just did was the best I could do. But I can tell you that after so much elation in the music, at the end, because of that piano, I feel like I lost something. And that, to me, is the most pure way, the most pure reaction and response that you can have to any piece of music is feeling and experience. That was incredible. But I'm curious as to what the song is supposed to be. Let's see, the album is primarily instrumental except for sampled voice inserts. The samples on the album are often used to send some satirical, political, or poetic message. The inner panels of the vinyl edition released by Constellation contain a diagram used to illustrate the relative lengths of movements within the 4 tracks. Okay, that's fine. But I don't see anything necessarily here. I do see that the track is broken up into 4 different movements. The first, lift your skinny fist like antennas to heaven. The second, gathering storm / Chris Stabler, if you're around, you can help me with this. Il pleut à mourir. Clatters like worry. Did I say that right? I'm not. Il pleut à mourir. Morir. The third, welcome to Arco AM PM. And then the final, Cancer Towers on Holy Road Highway. Can I tell you, just looking at the titles of the movements, it seems extremely random. But once again, I would venture to guess that it is not random at all. And as a matter of fact, it could just be very simply based on feelings that the band were hoping that, the audience would feel that they felt. They may have just named this according to... I don't know. I got no idea. Anyways, that's all I got to say for right now, but I would love to hear your thoughts on this stormy evening, 8:27 now, but I hope that you enjoyed the music. Hope you enjoyed the experience with me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. You can follow me on Twitter, support the channel on Patreon. Thank you for the recommendation for this track as well. I'm sure that I'll be all right. I'm sure I'll be all right. It's just a little storm. It's no big deal. Anyways, have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you all later. Bye.